Hello everybody, in today's episode we're working on a Chevy Venture. We are going to be installing the intake manifold. I will take you step by step through this process in this video. I'm going to show you torque specs, what bolt goes where, how to prep it, how to clean it. So this process is the same for the 3.1 liter and the 3.4 liter engines in these Chevy Ventures and a whole bunch of other vehicles. So the first thing you got to do is have this nice and clean at this point. If you're interested in how to do this, there will be a link to the description to the head gasket installation video. In this video, we're doing the intake manifold. That's what this video will be about. I'll show you how to prep all this and how to put it on. Okay. So the absolute first thing you got to do with this intake manifold, I mean, we took this out and, you know, these gaskets all got to come out, but that's not the first thing we're doing. The first thing we're doing is we got to clean this thing. I mean, if you look closely, there's so much crap on it. So then when you're putting this on, stuff's going to fall into your engine. It needs to be cleaned. Basically, there's only one sensor on it. I mean, you could try pulling that out, but that sensor gets wet on the inside anyways. Otherwise, this whole thing can get wet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some degreaser like this. It's like orange stuff. You can buy this anywhere. Great stuff. And we're gonna spray this whole entire thing inside and out, inside of the ports. I mean, everywhere. We're just gonna cake this whole thing. These gaskets gotta come off. So we're gonna start by just doing that and cleaning it. So make sure you have it on a piece of wood or something. You wouldn't wanna put it down on concrete because you could scratch it up. Okay, now that we got that all sprayed, we're gonna leave it for about 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes, let that stuff soak in. Okay guys, it's been about 10 minutes now. So now what we need is a pressure washer. If you don't have a pressure washer, just go to one of those coin-op car wash places, bring $5 and 2 pieces of wood and just clean it there. But we do have one, so we're gonna clean it right now. Okay guys, so there it is, and I mean that is nice and clean. All the degreaser's gone. Look at the other side here. She's looking super duper clean. So now before we can do anything, this thing has to be 100% dry. So we're gonna let it dry. Okay guys, so just one more thing that I forgot to mention. So that's where the fuel injectors go. I don't know if you can see good on camera, but they're a little bit rough looking on the inside. So I got like a little pipe cleaner like this, and you just basically clean those up. Makes a big difference. Just so when you put the new gasket in there after, or the new O-ring, it'll be nice. See, watch, I'll show you guys what a difference that makes. See, there you go. So you just do that to all of those as well. Okay guys, so this thing here, the top part of the intake manifold, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna wash this guy up too. So I'm obviously not gonna show that. You guys get the idea. This thing we're gonna take off. There's just one screw holding it. And so we're gonna do that now. Okay guys, so we're just gonna let these dry in the sun. And these are important steps that people aren't doing. They're just skipping these steps, or they're paying big bucks to get these things cleaned at a machine shop. So that took 10 minutes and it cost us nothing. Okay guys, so now while those are drying, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna put the lifters in and the push rods, and we're gonna put these gaskets in right here. So this is all perfectly clean, degreased, 100%. Same with this area. I did that when I put the head gasket in. So that has to be perfectly clean and smooth. Like I said, if you're not too sure about that part, at the end of this video in the description, there'll be a link to the head gasket video. Okay, so inside of our head gasket kit, we had these 2 gaskets. They're both identical. So we're gonna put these in. There's these little nipples on them, as you can see. So the nipples go towards the engine. See, there's the nipples. So those just go in like so, guys. And they just kind of pop in. Okay, so we're gonna put that one on and the other one on, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, so I got both these gaskets on. You just have to make sure that these little tabs or nipples are lined up good. And that's it. So I got both these on. Next, we're gonna move on to the lifters and push rods. Okay guys, so here are the lifters and the push rods. And I mean, so many people make this mistake. So these things, when you're taking them out of your car, like this is all broken into itself. So like this is scratched a certain way. So then inside of here, those scratches match up. So that goes with this one, right? A lot of times what guys do is they take all this apart and they just throw it in a box. So now you're gonna get, you know, this going with this rod, or you're gonna get your rod and you're gonna put it on upside down by accident. Like everything is broken in a certain way. So when you take this thing apart, this is how I do it. There's the front of the car, there's the back of the car. Everything has to go back the exact same way. Otherwise, these have to get broken in again, and it just causes you problems down the line. This way, the car doesn't even know it ever came apart. So that's the trick to these. So I'm gonna start putting these back in there. There is long ones and short ones. I'll show you once I'm putting them in. See what I mean? One is a little bit shorter. So the exhaust valves and the intake valves have different ones. Ones are short, ones are long. But if you do this, you can't mess it up. And if you've already messed yours up and threw them in a box, well, you don't have a choice but to just put them back. Okay, so one by one now, we're gonna take this and right where we took it out on the motor, see right there, and I gave it a wipe, and also you have to be able to blow air through these because oil travels through these. So make sure you test each one and make sure air is blowing through it. Okay, so that basically goes in like so. See, and that's that. So now we're gonna put the lifter on, and we're gonna do one at a time so we don't mess anything up. So I'm gonna put all these in and just finger tighten them, and then I'll show you which ones are long and which ones are short in case you made the mistake of mixing these up. Okay, so now I'm grabbing this lifter, right? And that just goes right here like so. See, there's like a groove. That groove has to go into that groove. So for now, we're just gonna finger tighten these. And that's that. Yeah, so you get the idea. Okay, I'm gonna do all of them right now. Okay guys, so I got all of them on finger tight. So now what you gotta do is you grab yourself, you know, a 10mm wrench, right? Put it on here, and you're just gonna snug these up. And what you gotta do is see how this moves side to side. So you're just gonna kind of hold it in the middle of the valve, and then you just snug it up, right? So you kind of hold it, otherwise it kind of tends to go to the side. That's all. I'm kind of doing this one-handed right now, but see? So you hold it like this, and then you just snug it up a bit. And on these back ones, what you do is you kind of put them this way. See how they move like that? So you kind of put it like, you don't put it perfectly straight. You put it a little bit over, and then as you're snugging it, right? It's gonna, see, it kind of pulls it straight. See, that's working out good on this one. So you just snug it up. And some of them are pushing the valves down, so it like, they have like a longer travel of tightening. And some of them, the valves in closed position, so it's not pushing on it or whatever. So just keep that in mind. So there you go. So you just snug these up, and I'll show you what's next. Okay guys, what you're gonna need now is a torque wrench. You're gonna set it to 124 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. And if you don't know how to use one of these, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and there'll be a link to a video on how to use a torque wrench, guys. So 124 inch-pounds, and then after that, once we do all the lifter bolts, so these ones here, then you have to turn them 30 degrees. I'll explain that in a minute, guys. Okay guys, so I mean, I know that doesn't seem very tight because it's such a big wrench, but once you put a little wrench on here, you'll see they're actually pretty tight. So now what you got to do is tighten them 30 degrees more. So what that means, think of a clock. If this is 12 o'clock, so from 12 till 1, that's 30 degrees, right? From 12 till 3 on a clock would be 90 degrees. So from 12 till 1. So you're basically going to go around on each one and you're just going to go. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do that right now, guys. Okay guys, honestly that felt super good. It was basically like with this small little wrench, it was basically as hard as I could go, honestly, and it all did about 30. I mean, there is a special tool for it, but I don't have one, and you don't really need it as long as you can do 30. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next step, guys. Oh yeah guys, and I almost forgot. So you got long, short, long, short, short, long, and that's the back of the engine. And then if we go like this, just in case somebody's lost on this, we got long, short, long, short, short, long. There, you're welcome. Okay guys, so we got the lower intake manifold here, and as you can see, it's nice and clean and it's dry. So just get a razor blade, pull these old gaskets off, nothing to it. Just like that. So I actually grabbed a brand new one. See, you just scrape this off. Really not much to it. Okay guys, so once you're at that point, you take some 320 grit sandpaper, you put it on a block like this, and you just go over every single one of these in like a circular motion a little bit. It is aluminum, so don't go too crazy. It sands off fast. There, just like that. Okay guys, so that's what that should look like. These are perfectly flat now. So that side's done. Let's flip this thing around. Okay, put a rag down so you don't scratch what you just worked on. Just like that. Okay, so then on this side, as you can see up close, see, this is pretty scored up and pieces of old gasket a little bit. So what you're gonna do here is basically this area, this whole area, this, same on the other side, all these flat areas. You're basically gonna grab a razor blade, see, just like this, and you're just lightly gonna scrape the old stuff off. That's good there. These ones are good, so you don't even have to do it. Same on this one. Use a new blade. You're only going a little bit here. Okay, so you're gonna do that. I'm gonna do the other two sides, and then when I'm done that, we're gonna take the 320 grit and sand it. So I'm gonna do that right now and then show you when I'm sanding. Okay guys, so I did that with the razor. So now you just take your 320 grit sandpaper, And I mean, you're not going bananas here, so I'll show it in real time. Smooth, even motion. So it makes it perfectly flat, which it's looking great actually. Okay. Same with those ones. Okay, that looks perfect. And these tops slightly. And the backs, you get the idea. Okay guys, so there it is. You know, it's basically perfect. It's hard to see on camera, but it's so smooth. It's all very, very perfect. We did all of it. You know, so that's how you prep this. Otherwise, it'll leak. Like, if you want a good, tight seal, that's what you gotta do. Okay, the next step, guys, we're gonna get the air compressor. We're gonna blow in these. We're gonna blow this whole thing off so all the dust is off of it. So I'll do that right now. And off camera, we're gonna do the top part of the intake manifold as well. We're gonna do those parts, sand them, and we're gonna do that part there just to straighten it all out, make it nice and even. So we'll do that off camera. Okay, I'm gonna grab the air compressor now. Okay, air compressor time. You get the idea. I'll do that, then I'll show you guys what's next. Okay guys, 2 more steps now. Basically, you take a little bit of brake cleaner, mist it on here, and wipe it off to get any dust off. You can even put some on a rag. And you basically gotta wipe this till the rag's clean. So when you're wiping it, it's clean. So I'm gonna do that. On the car, everything's already clean, so I'm not gonna show you there. So you do that. Okay, I'll continue with that. Okay, once you're all done, you're gonna need one of these. It's called a tack rag. You can get these at like automotive paint stores, for example. And it's basically this like super kind of sticky rag that collects any kind of lint. So you grab this thing and you just give it one final wipe. That will literally take everything off, any little pieces of lint, anything. So you give everything a wipe. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is just dry fit this to see if everything lines up. You don't wanna be siliconing stuff and then find out stuff's not working on you. So that looks perfect. Okay, that fits perfect. Let's take her back out. Okay, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your bolts for that. There's 4 shorter ones and 4 longer ones, and you're just gonna clean them really good. So we already did that. These are nice and clean, and these call for Loctite. So we're gonna put blue Loctite on the bottoms of these before we put them in. And the second thing we're gonna do is, see right here in these spots, so right here and right there, depending on what kit you buy, some kits have a little gasket that goes here and then you just silicone the ends, and some of them they just want you to put a bead of silicone there and there right into these corners. So in our case, that's what we're doing. So we're gonna, right before we're ready to drop this thing in, we're gonna put a thick bead here of black RTV silicone. This actually came with the head gasket kit. So you put a pretty thick bead of this so it can catch it. Like there's a pretty big gap there. So you just squeeze it in there. I'll show you when I do it. Okay, so the long bolts get torqued to 115 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, 115 inch-pounds. And the short bolts get torqued to 18 foot-pounds. So that's how you do that. And also you have to torque them in a sequence, just like you would a head gasket from the inside out. I'll show you right now. Okay, so here's the order you're gonna tighten them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And first you're gonna do 5 inch-pounds on all the bolts. Then you're gonna go 62 inch-pounds on all the bolts. And then for the final, you're gonna do 115 inch-pounds on all the bolts. And then for the absolute final, on the short bolts on the sides, you're gonna get it up to 18 foot-pounds, guys. So that's how you tighten this, and you put Loctite on the bolts. Okay, so here it goes. So you want to really get it in that corner there. And yeah, you're putting it on thick. And right in there. So I'm going to do the other side off camera. See, just like that. Okay, here it goes, guys. Okay, so as you can see, the silicone squeezed out, so that's good. Okay, let's throw these bolts in. Put the bolts in. Just tighten them with a screwdriver first. Just a little tiny bit. Just a little bit hand tight. Second one, a little bit hand tight. Third one, a little bit hand tight. Fourth one, a little bit hand tight. And now we should be able to get the little bolts in. So we're just getting these finger tight for now. Okay, I'm gonna start tightening those. Like I said, that sequence, 5, 62, whatever. I'll do that right now, and I'll show you guys the trick to getting this bolt right there, how to get a torque wrench on it, to see it's stuff's in the way. Okay, so in order to get to that bolt, you're gonna need one of these guys here. Okay guys, final pass, 115 inch-pounds on the top bolts anyways, final pass. Got to do lots of different configurations of sockets and extensions to do this. Okay guys, once you do that, you just go over them one more time, one by one, make sure they're all good. Okay guys, so I'm super happy with that. Now all we got to do is get these side bolts to 18 foot-pounds on both sides, and that is it guys. I'm gonna leave that off camera. Okay guys, so now after watching this video, you are basically a professional. You can do all this stuff all on your own. If you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, throw me a subscription guys. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the description below for links to other videos on this vehicle. And I got a whole series on restoring an old 1969 Corvette Stingray. Thanks for watching Problem Solver Garage. Till next time everyone. I love Problem Solver Garage.